everybody. Welcome to another episode of Raw Dogs.
Raw Dogs.
We're raw dogging it. Need a little hair of the dog today after our fun last night. Dylan, I think, are you feeling a little worse than I am today?
Probably. I got up. I imagine I got up earlier than you.
I got up pretty early.
Yeah?
Yeah, I like to get my day started and then regret waking up early.
If like the cats wake me up to feed them, I hit that point where you just realize, well, I can't go back to bed now. That is the worst feeling later in the day when you know you should have had at least 2 or 3 more hours.
I mean, when I wake up, my first thought is, I gotta go fast. I gotta go
fast. Well, I don't think Sonic sleeps.
Does Sonic not sleep?
No. I read a few interviews.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, this is the Sonic lore episode. Let's point that out.
We're here to talk about not the game specifically, but the story.
The story,
the characters.
Yes. The beloved characters, all of them, every single one. Like Vector, the crocodile.
Yes.
Charmy Bee. Everyone loves Charmy Bee.
Bean the Dynamite.
Mighty
the Armadillo.
Yep. And
Amy
then
Rose.
And then Ivo Kintober.
Naturally.
Yes.
Although I think one of my surprise characters that I really did like from learning the lore is Gerald Robotnik.
Gerald Robotnik is an interesting character.
Yeah, he's a tragic character.
He's kind of super sinister.
He starts off with kind of not the worst intentions. And he has a granddaughter he just wants to find a cure for. And he makes a bad deal with, what's that Black Arms dude name? Is it just Black Arm?
Black Arms dude?
Yeah, he makes a deal with them.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, thus Shadow the Hedgehog was created. We're talking about Sonic today. So I think everyone knows Sonic. He's one of the beloved game icons. Everyone could identify him, I'm sure.
Extremely marketable, even if you haven't played the games, which there are a ton of people. I mean, everyone's played a Mario game. Not everyone has played a Sonic the Hedgehog game.
But we're not going to talk about how he was born to have this great attitude, how he was the bad boy in comparison to Mario's wholesome plumber. He's a toe-tapping, smug, bad dude,
He's got a grin, man.
He will, if you don't play the game, he looks over at you frustrated, and eventually he just kills himself.
Off. Yeah.
He will kill himself.
He will kill himself.
Out of boredom.
Yeah, because he's got to go.
He needs stimulation.
Yes, he does.
So I think we just need to establish the setting of the universe. So now some people will say it takes place on Mobius. Some people say it's Earth. And it doesn't really matter. We can call it either of those things. It is a planet very similar to Earth in some aspects. It's got people.
Now, hold on, Brad. Do you think that all the games are similarly threaded together?
I think most of the games outside of the Sonic Boom series can fall into the same universe, different timelines.
Yeah, but then I think that 1, 2, 3, Knuckles, and Mania are their own separate thing. I don't think that takes place on Earth at all.
There is arguments to be made for either scenario here. The fact that in Sonic Generations, do they time travel or do they change
I think it's
dimensions?
the melding of worlds.
There is one game, Sonic the Pocket Adventure for the Neo Geo Pocket Color, where it uses both art styles throughout the game. It is the melding of the two. So some people say that is proof that there's a transition. Sonic grew up a little bit. Dr. Robotnik lost some weight.
I guess.
Grew some legs.
I miss when he just looked like an egg.
I think the original character designs are much better.
They're so much better. It's got so much more life to it.
Yeah.
It's nice to see because then you get the unholy abomination that was the original plan for the movie, the design.
Atrocious.
Well, Brad, I know you found it sexy. You just love those blue, muscular human legs.
The fast and the furriest.
The fast and the furriest.
Yeah. I think, Earth or Mobius, it is a planet not too dissimilar at its core aspects. The only thing I think we need to really just mention before we get into the first game, Chaos Emeralds, kind of a big deal.
Big deal.
Yeah, they've been around since the beginning of time.
Yeah.
If you gather all 7 of them together, you are given this tremendous power. You can transform.
Yeah, the Dragon Balls.
I was about to get there.
Yeah.
And even after you use them, they scatter themselves.
Yes, exactly.
The Dragon Balls.
Yeah, the Dragon Balls.
There's also the Master Emerald, which comes up later. But the Chaos Emeralds is the core of the first handful of games.
Well, the first 3 especially, yeah.
Sonic He's just a cool dude. He's out there on South Island, just wanted to run around with his animal buddies.
Which he does not live. Here's a fact you probably don't know. I read an interview with the producers of with Sonic Team, and get this: they asked where Sonic lives. They said he doesn't live anywhere.
I'm not surprised.
He doesn't live anywhere. So Sonic is technically homeless.
Well, he's at home when he's relaxing anywhere. He's immediately.
Oh yeah. He can walk into a room and just. Oh, this is my house now.
Hey, this is my house.
This is my house.
The Red Bull, gotta go fast. Yeah, Sonic's on South Island just hanging out, and then he notices some of his animal friends are being kidnapped and turned into robots.
Yep.
And this is the first meeting between two characters that will be intimately linked.
Yes, the Badniks are technically what the transformed creatures are called.
The Badniks, yes. Which, that's an interesting premise in itself. Animals that are captured.
It's kind of cool.
Why do you need an animal to power your robots?
I mean, I think just to be intentionally cruel, if we're going to be like totally honest with it, if Dr. Robotnik's dream is to make a mechanized world, then you're going to start with the things that already exist, right?
Okay. Dr. Robotnik, his dream, you're saying, is to create a mechanized world.
Yes.
Is that established? To me, it only seems that he just wants to create an army and he wants to control everyone.
Yeah, but I think I think there's a way to
yeah,
but there's a way to start that, right? The best way to build an army is to have ready-made troops.
So we don't know a lot about Sonic, where he came from beforehand. I think maybe the comics or the shows would like flesh out who his parents were.
You know, surprisingly, they kind of do.
What is his parents like? What is his early childhood like?
Well, if you're going from the Bible established in early Sega,
let's mention the Bible. It is a core set of rules that Sonic was supposed to be designed around.
Most franchises have a Bible, and especially like we're talking like Mario, and it's a list of cans and can'ts essentially. Like this is always the case, and this is always never the case. That kind of stuff.
Mario can do this. Mario will never do that.
Exactly. Mario will never not plumb.
Dude plums.
Yes, exactly. He'll never not use
I'm wondering if one of the Bible rules were broken when in Mario Odyssey they showed Mario's nipples for the first time.
I don't understand why that was such a big deal.
We hadn't seen him before.
Well, yeah, but I mean, it's a secondary sex thing for...
What size were they going to be? We didn't know.
I expect they are the exact size as pepperonis.
That dude... that dude shaves his chest, clearly.
Yes, well, I don't know, man. He might be naturally sleek.
Yeah.
But he's Italian, so you don't know.
But he wouldn't be sleek. He's Italian.
No, I know. That's my thought.
He should have had hair periscoping out of the back of his plumber shirt.
Oh, gross. But he smells like mozzarella, too.
Dr. Robotnik, he's trying to collect the emeralds, and he's capturing animals, turning them into badniks to do this. The story doesn't get too much more complicated. Sonic fights him, defeats him.
Yes.
Did you know that like the next game in the series canonically after that
CD.
would be Sega Sonic the Hedgehog, which is an arcade game, and it was the first appearance of Mighty the Armadillo and Ray the Flying Squirrel.
Two characters recently added into Sonic Mania Plus.
Which I thought were original characters for Mania. I was surprised to learn
Oh, you didn't know that one?
Yeah, it's interesting going on these Sonic Wikipedia pages. Mighty the Armadillo was born into a family of thieves, and he seeks power to free his family, so he makes a deal to become super powerful. And Ray the Flying Squirrel is an orphan and just is fiercely loyal to Mighty because he's afraid of being alone again.
Oh, that's rad.
Yeah, I'm like, you guys are
cool.
What
depth. Hey, I like that. I didn't even know. I just thought they were cool characters. I was like, all right.
That comes from the comics, some of that stuff.
Well, I mean, Ray is basically, when you play the game, he's Cape Mario from Mario World.
Yeah, blatantly,
yeah.
Which is great. I like both of those characters.
Mighty is cool because he doesn't get hurt by spikes, really.
Which I appreciate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of spikes in these worlds.
Yeah. Sonic actually gets captured by Eggman, and they have to escape from a prison. So there, I think, is about 40 games that we could talk about here. And 20 of them are going to be Eggman's trying to capture something, and then Sonic stops him. So we don't have to go too much into detail with a lot of that.
No, but did you want to hear that he has 5 sisters?
Sonic does?
Yeah, in the Bible version of it.
Okay.
And he lives in a hedge outside of a local burger joint, and he subsists on milkshakes, burgers, and other scraps that he can get for his family.
So chili dogs were not in the Bible?
No, they were not.
When were chili dogs introduced into the canon?
Sonic Unleashed. Oh, there's reference to it in Sonic Advance 3. Sorry.
I feel like the show must have done something, a TV show.
Yeah, I think he really liked Chili Dogs, the Julia White, obviously that early 90s cartoon version.
Yeah.
But I don't think it got into the games until later.
It's interesting.
It's wild. Why Chili Dogs? Is it just something that they thought, this is how the kids relate to Sonic the Hedgehog?
How are we going to make him more relatable?
Whoa, man, it's like Saved by the Bell, except, fuck it, I don't know. How do you relate to a character that is basically an anthropomorphized animal who barely speaks?
Every profile for every character is an anthropomorphized. Mm-hmm. Well, Sonic doesn't need to say too much. You know what he's about.
Yeah, he's busy acting. He's a man of action.
Tails blends into the background. He just doesn't got really any personality. I mean,
Well,
once you
he
get into
does.
later games, they start having more.
Well, I think honestly, he's canon. It's established that he's a fanboy of Sonic.
Big fanboy.
Yeah, and he just follows him around.
Yeah.
And essentially he inserts himself into his life.
And Amy Rose does as well.
In CD?
Yep, which takes place before Sonic the Hedgehog 2. Amy Rose is a fangirl, as everyone just loves Sonic. And I love, well, Tails. Tails Sky Patrol, prior to meeting Sonic, our sidekick Miles Prower stumbles upon a villain named Witch Cart, which is an old lady in a cart. And she's controlling an island, and Tails stops her.
This is one for the one for the Game Gear, right?
Yeah, and I
Okay.
think that is the worst villain of the series. We'll go with Witch Cart is the worst villain of the series.
Man, I don't know. Bring her back, just like Wart in Super Mario Brothers
I wish
2.
they would do more with Wart.
Wart could be cool.
Dude, they've already done Mario World, Mario Odyssey, Mario Galaxy. Do Mario's Dream Adventure. Just like you could go super
that'd be
weird
sick.
creative and have Wart be the bad guy in there.
That's another way.
And
That
you
could
could
be
blend
Odyssey
in like
too.
Legend of Zelda stuff in there because it's a
Sure.
dream. Much like Link's Awakening, they bring in Mario stuff. Bring some
sure.
weird Zelda stuff in there.
Why the hell not?
When I saw that they were bringing the Master Sword and Link into Mario Maker 2, I crapped my pants. I said,
Really?
Wow, that changes gameplay possibilities.
Sure.
I was blown away by that. Sonic Labyrinth also happened in this interim. Well, Dr. Eggman, he created Dr. Eggman's Deluxe Speed Down Boots. Because this guy has an IQ of 300.
Yeah.
I think it's important to note that Dr. Robotnik watched his cousin was murdered. His cousin or sister. They don't say if
It's his cousin because it's Gerald's
granddaughter. And he's the grandson, so we don't know if they're... I don't think they're
they'd be
brother and
cousins.
sister.
They're
but
not brother and sister, no.
she's shot and killed by the government. And
Yeah.
then he sees his grandpa like go insane. I think that's an important part to understand about who Ivo Kintober.
Ivo Kintober,
We need to know where he comes from.
which is just Robotnik spelled backwards.
I didn't know that.
Did you? Okay. Kintober. Robotnik.
Yep.
Yep.
So we need to acknowledge he's had a weird childhood anyways. Not trying to say it's okay to give Sonic the Hedgehog speed down boots.
Yeah, that's not cool, man.
He's from a long line of very intelligent scientists. He's good enough to catch Sonic while he's sleeping, because actually this is what happened in here. So Sonic does sleep. He
Oh, boy.
switches out Sonic's shoes for speed down boots. You're sitting there with Sonic sleeping. You take a knife to the guy.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I'm going to engineer some speed down boots and put them on him.
You know, it's a premise, that's for sure. 300 IQ my ass, though. I'm going to say that. Speed down boots? Why not just, like, completely immobilize him while you're at it?
You could do anything.
I know. Even kiss him. Which I feel like Robotnik kind of wants to do.
They need each other to an extent.
Yeah, Batman and Joker style.
So there is a YouTube user called The Fourth Snake, and I want to thank him personally because he was the person that I found had the best timeline. Because Sega's never released, like, this is the official timeline.
They don't have one.
They were recently at Sonic Boom, and someone asked, well, if Silver and Shadow and Blaze the Cat were all in this scenario, then how could they have been there? And they said, well, of course, they basically just all had amnesia then.
Oh, God.
You're in charge of the lore. But
they obviously don't care about their games all that much.
This guy tried to explain how logically the plot for Sonic 06, if it went down, time travel, it's tricky. But if you need to have this timeline run its course, to go back to this timeline to run its course, to have this timeline.
Right.
And he says there's like 8 separate timelines in Sonic 06 for things to happen the way it did.
God.
This guy's done the legwork. The Fourth Snake, thank you. But he laid all the games out chronologically as best he could, just from character interactions and very little things. So the plot of Sonic CD, the fact that Little Planet comes around once a year is how he's able to break down years, how old different characters are.
Oh, God.
It makes sense.
Okay.
And when characters get introduced. So, yeah, this is in 11 AS after Sonic was born. Allegedly.
Wait, he's 11?
I think he's 15 near the end. Sonic's a young dude.
Well, I mean, he's an animal. I guess it makes sense. I guess, I don't know. I don't know what their lifespans are in this world. How old is Grandpa Sonic? Canonically, he can travel at the speed of light, pretty much.
You know, I'm not sure where this was established, but Sonic was originally brown, but he traveled at the speed of light and it changed his color to blue.
In the Bible, Dr. Robotnik gives him his speed because he's like his father figure.
Yeah. You can almost
dig it.
You can almost do like a Turtles thing where Master Splinter was the pet rat of Shredder's buddy.
Oh, yeah.
You could have something like that before Sonic became what he is. I think for the movie, they're going to have that be like another dimension Sonic gets yoinked out. Because you can see Green Hill Zone in the new trailer, which looks looks great.
It looks fun.
I guess that's why they showed us the first trailer, so we could see something that's better than that, and we're like, it's better.
I'm going opening day.
It's Valentine's Day.
Yeah, see?
Double date.
See, there we go.
I'll double check later.
Yeah, we will. I mean, Allie will have no choice.
So, yeah, it's interesting that Sonic CD is the next main game time-wise.
It's a great game. Have you played CD?
I haven't played CD. I listened to a lot of the soundtrack, and it's super interesting that each level you time travel, and then you'll play through this level, and then you'll play through one in the past, and then, like, the evil future, or, like, the good future, depending on how it's going. Which is a great concept.
Yeah.
They got time stones there, something like that.
Yeah.
There's a lot of gems and stones in this series.
Well, I mean, that's what drives gameplay. Collect the things. All the Pavlovian bells go off, and you feel good about yourself.
I feel good.
I feel good about this.
Everyone's got their first time where they get tired of collectathons, and mine was Assassin's Creed 2.
Because there were three cities in that one,
and they were still tamer compared to where they got later with the Assassin's Creed franchise, where they added more and more things. Sonic is tricky to collect the Chaos Emeralds in those games
because you have to find the secret areas.
You find the secret area, and then you have one chance in that level.
Yep.
And I love that the Chaos Emeralds.
Do you like the spinning world one where you have to kind of like time his jumps a little because it's kind of like a pachinko machine?
I do. I don't know. I like the fact that all of them warp your perspective, and I think it gives a good idea of what interacting with
I like the background.
A Chaos Emerald would look like. I mean,
I never really put it into context as that. It's literally him handling this like object of immense power, and this is like his rationalization of trying to get control of it.
Yep.
That's cool, actually.
Even the giant rings that you go through, it turns out flickies, which are the blue birds, they can go between different dimensions.
Oh.
And Knuckles Chaotix is born from the fact that Dr. Robotnik finds these giant rings and he's doing research on it.
Oh.
I like when they take mechanics in a game and they make a rational...
there's really no deciphering that, though. Someone said that. It's not an emergent thing in the gameplay. Like, no one's like, you're not reading a bunch of text and then Sonic is doing the level.
I like, though, that they do have reasons behind things. And even something that's a smaller thing where they'll have some background hieroglyphs in one of the original Sonic games becomes something down the line where it was actually the Nocturnus clan in the images. Sonic CD.
Sonic CD is good.
Home to the Time Stones. It's a little planet that just appears over Never Lake. And Robotnik ties the planet to a mountain, and Sonic has to battle what becomes one of his biggest baddies, his antagonist, Metal Sonic.
Yeah.
Which is interesting that Metal Sonic shows up before Mecha Sonic.
Yeah, they're two different things.
He travels through time, and I love it that Metal Sonic and him have a race at the end of the game to determine who's faster. That's a much cooler way to fight a villain. Instead of having this, I'm going to just jump at you with my spin ball, having a race that tests your ability to play the game is a unique way to approach a boss battle.
It is.
I like it.
I think it's cool.
Metal Sonic is kind of I don't want to say Boba Fett because Boba Fett was kind of a big wet fart in the end, but a character that doesn't really have a personality, but is an imposing threat every time he's on screen.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's got hard edges. He's just crazy looking. We're talking like Bizarro with Superman.
Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey.
Sure, yeah.
Bill and Ted 3, very excited.
I'm sure you are.
Metal Sonic is intelligent enough, though, to go against Dr. Robotnik's wishes sometimes.
Yeah.
And Amy Rose, she wields a hammer and has a crush.
The Piku Piku hammer?
Correct.
Okay. See, I'm working off of knowledge. I don't have notes. I'm just going to point that out to the audience.
Just so everyone knows, I am the note taker, and Dylan is the one who remembers everything he's ever read.
Autism, yes.
The Dylan experience. Amy Rose, it's so every character also, there's about 5 to 7 paragraphs at least for every character that describe their personality. I skipped over some of the Sonic one. Let me read that. Let's just, to get a context, I'm going to read the whole thing.
Okay.
This is my abridged version. Sonic is said to be like the wind, a drifter that is always on the move and is noted for being free-spirited and adventurous. He values freedom above all else and strives to live his life according to his own rules rather than the standards of those around him or for the sake of heroism or duty, never thinking twice about what other people say or think, often impatient, hates boredom, and at times possesses a short temper. Always honest and always keeps his promises. Sassy, quick-witted, cocky, and at times overconfident.
Am I Sonic the Hedgehog?
You are like the wind.
I fart a lot.
You don't think twice about what people say or think. Hates boredom. I don't think you have a short temper, though.
Yeah, I tend to let things roll.
And
off.
you don't hate Lies and Evil in all its forms. You seem okay with some of that shit.
Some of it's cool. I'm like an edgier Sonic. Am I Shadow the Hedgehog? I'm just kidding.
I was thinking, okay, when we get to whatever character you think you are closest to, I already know which one I am.
Charmy B.
Fuck you. Everyone hates Charmy B.
I don't hate Charmy B.
The detective agency hates Charmy B. To an extent, they're all annoyed by it.
Oh, you think you're SBO?
No. SBO, he's like Leonardo. Kind of bland, but like badass.
He's got a really bad design.
I don't like it.
Yeah.
Okay. Where the fuck were we? Amy Rose, an optimistic tomboy who uses tarot cards, which is how she knows that Sonic and her are destined to be together. She sees it in her tarot cards.
Oh, shit.
Which, that's some demented fucking right there, where someone is obsessed with you because they were reading tarot cards.
Oh, she's one of those girls.
I mean,
Mercury's in retrograde.
I understand Sonic, like, just stay over there for a sec. I'm going to go fight Eggman.
How do you keep finding me? I followed the cards.
He's like, fuck, it's working.
It's like, shit, damn it. When is he going to give in, though? She's been friend zoned so many times, man.
I don't know. Blaze the cat shows up and he says, I don't know, maybe.
I mean, I guess.
Is Blaze a girl, right?
Blaze is a girl, yeah.
Okay.
She's from another dimension, though. We don't know if their shit's going to connect.
Well, one of the games says she's from another dimension. One of the games says she's from another timeline. I listened to the Fourth Snake talk about this for a while.
Oh, God.
The Sonic team don't know what they're doing. At one point, the moon is blown up by Dr. Eggman.
Well, and from her first appearance in Sonic Rush, she's from another dimension. I played the game.
Amy Rose? No, Blaze the cat.
Blaze the cat.
Yep.
She's not a very interesting character to play as, but she's got like pyrokinesis.
Okay.
It's sort of interesting, but when you play a Sonic game, really, you just want to play as Sonic, Tails, or Knuckles. That's pretty much it.
I don't want to play as Tails other than to explore the levels. I like playing as Knuckles. The glideability and the climb. I like the climb.
The climbing is rad. The climbing can get you to some really off-the-wall secret areas.
I usually find those giant rings when I'm playing as Knuckles. Ray, the flying squirrel, I don't like playing as.
He's really hard to use, actually.
He's very hard to use.
Mighty the Armadillo is fun because he's got that ball form. You just like smash the ground really hard. Yeah, it feels really fun to play as him.
We'll skip Tails Adventure, skip Sonic Chaos, but Sonic Spinball.
That's not canon.
Why not? Dr. Robotnik assumed control of Mount Mobius and turned it into a base.
Mount Mobius.
Luckily, Sonic triggers a volcanic eruptions to destroy what is known as the Vejo Fortress.
The Vejo?
Sonic Spinball's some garbage.
It's a bad game. The soundtrack to that, we're going to put like some of that like first level music in there. It sounded like living dog shit, like someone necromanced dog poop.
I remember playing a lot of Sonic Spinball.
I played a lot of it too because pinball games are endlessly playable.
It's not even a good pinball game though.
No, it's not.
No. I remember spending a lot of time just getting to, like, when I got to the third level, it was oh shit.
It gets hard.
It's not an easy game, and it's not because I'm not good at playing games and I can't handle the...
Well, the fail conditions were extreme.
And it's wonky.
It's wonky, yeah.
It's very wonky. You have to know how the game sucks in order to beat it.
Some great games are made that way. I will say that, but
the first Turtles game on NES, you have to know how it sucks to beat it.
Exactly.
But I guess those are the preludes before Sonic the Hedgehog 2 happens.
The best in the series. I'm just going to point that out.
2 or 3. I am a big fan of Mania, but that's a separate thing.
Well, Mania is so playable, and it's modernized in the correct way. and it just feels nice.
So Sonic the Hedgehog 2, it's on West Island, the West Side Island. Long ago, the people of the island, they used the Chaos Emeralds to advance their civilization, and they got too greedy, and the civilization collapsed. I love video games that are about silly mascot characters for consoles, and it has a lore much deeper than necessary, which they're grabbing some of like the best like sci-fi concepts and just throw it in the back. Throw it in the background.
Well, if you played the games, you wouldn't know anyway.
There is a very tiny amount of visual storytelling between the zones. A very small amount. But it's something that I never look into. I just enjoy the music, and I just interact with the level.
Oh, right.
If you pay attention, there is a small amount of visual storytelling of how Sonic does eventually get to the Death Egg or Egg Station or Eggman Island or Egg
catching a ride on that rocket. Yeah. Which is really cool about Sonic Mania. The transitions in that are gorgeous.
It's gorgeous. And it actually has a setup to why they get between spots.
Right.
So it's on West Side Island. Tails miles per hour. I remember when I found that out as a kid, I was like, fuck.
Oh, fuck, man.
Wait, what?
Oh, shit.
I'm going to tell everyone I know about that.
Oh, man. I'm going to get laid.
Never got laid.
No. Mm-mm.
It turns out Robotnik is building a Death Egg.
The Death Egg.
Which is the
Definitely
Death Star.
Not the Death Star.
Definitely not the Death Star. I wish it was more egg-shaped. It is just a globe. It would make more sense.
It's literally just his face.
That's some ego shit right there.
Oh, he's definitely got the ego for it. Every one of his robots looks like him that he pilots.
Yeah.
It's honestly a pretty aerodynamic design.
Let's put some lightning bolts inside. No.
I
was thinking about a big mustache.
Yeah. And you know that little hover car I drive around in? It should have a nose.
There's no function. I know.
Maybe
I have an IQ of 300. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Put the fucking nose on the machine.
I can't wait to see Jim Carrey play Eggman.
I think he'll be good.
I think it'll be fucking weird.
I'm excited to see what he does. He's someone that's going to give a big performance, which is to his detriment in some characters. But I think for Eggman, the bigger he goes, the more scenery he chews, the better it's going to be.
You know that like all these fucking movies that are coming out and they want to like legitimize them to audiences in the same way they like try to ease people into it. At the end of this movie, post-credits scene, it's going to be him completely bald. His mustache is going to be bigger and he's going to be wearing a fat suit.
They've teased that. There was an image not of him in a fat suit, but of him bald. And it was kind of in another dimension. So I'm not sure if they go to a bonus stage. I wonder if the Chaos Emeralds are even going to get worked in. They must get worked in.
Well, it's so I think, so everyone's after Sonic in this movie. From what I can tell, he uses those rings as portals between worlds. Mm-hmm. And everyone wants his power because his power apparently allows the rings to open and those portals to take him to different places. Now, there's a scene with James Marsden's character, and I'm going to make a very bold prediction right now.
Very bold.
A very bold prediction. I think his wife is dead, first of all, and the portal that Sonic uses is his wife's ring.
No.
Yes.
I don't see it.
There's a scene where he catches him.
Wait, okay, maybe.
He catches him, and he's holding a ring. And they surprise each other, and he drops the ring.
So we're going to say his wife very recently passed away, too.
And he's still dealing with it.
And
he finds friendship in Sonic the Hedgehog.
Gosh,
because he closed off his emotions.
That's so dumb and corny, and
it's going to happen.
It's going to happen, probably.
Yes.
Yeah, that's good. That's actually pretty good writing.
It's my solid prediction.
I'm going to go ahead and predict the film is out of the canon in a big way.
Yeah. It's a movie.
There are some movies that they try and have be part of the canon of the game series.
Well, yeah, like Assassin's Creed, sure.
That was a hot piece of shit.
I really wanted to like it.
I went in so excited.
It looked like a legitimate thing.
You have Fassbender, and the trailer is pure hype. It's all free running. I said, maybe. Like, this looks pretty good.
If anything, I'd watch just free running.
I saw someone do that leap of faith in a stunt video that they were teasing. That taught me to not be excited about video game movies. Even with Detective Pikachu.
Like,
I wasn't expecting to love it. I was just like, whatever happens is fine. And then it was good, and I was surprised.
That's the value of it. I think you have to set low expectations. I think this movie, Sonic the Hedgehog, I'm going to be honest, I'm probably going to like it.
It looks fine. I don't know. I think with the redesign,
watchability,
it depends. Like, they made the animations, there's more character to them. And Sonic could be funny now instead of just terrible CGI. They added a lot to it. I'm happy we saw Green Hill Zone in the new trailer. But we're not even through Sonic the Hedgehog 2.
Oh my God, let's keep going.
We're at 36 minutes. Okay,
Holy
Sonic
shit.
2, they build a Death Egg. Sonic collects the Chaos Emeralds and becomes Super Sonic for the first time, which is...
Super Saiyan.
Yeah, it's Super Saiyan.
Mm-hmm.
What happens when they get him? You ever see Dragon Ball Z?
Oh, they're not allowed to smoke weed in Japan. They hate that shit.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, you can get in huge trouble for smoking weed there.
What drugs do they do in Japan?
They don't do drugs.
That's not what
They
Tarantino
drink alcohol.
said. Tarantino said that he did some crazy shit there.
Yeah, but you have to be involved with some Yakuza shit.
Well, whenever
if you get caught with weed, it's it's a worse sentence than if you get caught with child pornography. Let's just put that out there.
Priorities here, folks.
Yes.
Oh, shit. Sonic and Tails, they defeat Dr. Robotnik. Who saw that coming? The Death Egg falls, and it lands onto Angel Island, which will become a recurring location in the Sonic franchise. So
it's a floating island.
It is a floating island. What causes it to float, Dylan?
The Master Emerald. It's just a big ass Chaos Emerald, but it's like the combiner of them. It's the one that unifies them all. It's the one ring.
It's the one ring.
Yes.
Yes. So the Master Emerald, and who is currently guarding this on Angel Island?
Knuckles.
Knuckles is one of the last members of the Echidna clan. Currently the only one alive, I believe, that is guarding it.
Surprisingly, yes.
They were largely wiped out from an incident 4,000 years ago, which the Knuckles clan were fighting the Nocturnus clan, and the Knuckles clan decided they were going to attack the Chao to steal the Chaos Emeralds. Chaos, fuck. All right, I'm getting a little ahead of myself here.
He's a super liquidy being.
He's an immortal godlike creature composed of pure energy.
Yeah.
And he's the guardian of the Chaos, which is a fun little play on the Chao. I think Chao is the plural, but Chaos.
Chao. Yeah, the Chao, yes.
Yeah. He is attacking the Knuckles clan, and then Tikal, she is Pekka-chan's daughter, however you say his name. She says a prayer to the Master Emerald, and it seals her and Chaos in the Master Emerald, and that's what causes the Angel Island to float.
Yes.
And that's when Sonic 3 takes place. Knuckles is, okay, imagine the best character. Imagine the best character opening you could have. Super Sonic, it's the beginning of Sonic 3. He jumps off a plane, turns into Super Sonic, flies past the plane, he's running onto this floating island. Knuckles punches him in the face.
He uppercuts him.
Seals all of the emeralds.
Yeah.
He laughs at you and runs away. And you're like, oh shit. Which is a great taking all of the characters' powers away before you start the next game. But
it's like, why isn't he Super Sonic already?
Fucking love Knuckles.
Knuckles is cool. I'll say this. Do you remember the pumpkin rap from... Did you ever play Sonic Adventure 2?
No, I almost played Sonic Adventure for the real first time today. I didn't get time, though.
Oh, fuck.
I mean, I started it, but I didn't care for... It had some...
It's bad.
Yeah.
Those are bad games.
They're not good games. I don't think any of the three...
There are some levels that are like knockouts, but most of the levels are complete trash. Most of the non-Sonic stuff tends to be awful.
The pumpkin rap.
The pumpkin rap. It's really cool because you go to this place called Pumpkin Hill, and it's literally a rap that happens over the level, and it just continues to play.
Oh no!
It's got this really like catchy like 4-note background, and then there's a guy who's basically singing about what Knuckles is doing.
Sounds badass.
While he's oh my god, it is wild.
You know me, the fighting freak Knuckles, and we're at Pumpkin Hill. You ready? I ain't gon' let it get to me. I'm just gon' creep down in Pumpkin Hill. I got to find my lost piece. I know that it's here. I can sense it in my.
And basically, those levels are hot and cold games. So you just hear beep, 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 and you're walking around these levels. You're punching shit. He glides.
I like the character of Knuckles.
What about him specifically?
Do you read the Song of Ice and Fire books?
No.
There's a prequel novella series called The Dunk and Egg Tales. It's about a dude who's super honorable but kind of dumb, and he gets into bad situations because he's not super smart about it, but he always is doing the right thing to correct it.
Right.
Knuckles gets outwitted by Dr. Robotnik. You see a giant space station that looks like him crash into your island, but dude, Sonic's the bad guy. And Knuckles
that's why he's got a 300 IQ, man.
I guess maybe he's really convincing he's Saruman up there.
Yeah, sure.
Knuckles, he's like the sole descendant of his clan, and he's trying to just protect this Master Emerald. He's got maybe he's a little too smarmy about it, but I do like where his character comes from, what his basis is.
His design is pretty solid.
He was originally designed to be a one-off.
Yeah.
People loved him way too much.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And I love that they tried to make Sonic 3 and Knuckles as one game, but it was just too much.
It was too much.
So we're going to design an entire separate cartridge for this one thing. How fucking weird was that?
It's bizarre, and I remember being young and very confused.
Right. And then you could put other games that aren't Sonic games in there to play different sphere. Whatever.
Well, everyone wanted to play as Knuckles anyway because that glide ability felt really good.
Although when the second player grabs the controller in their tails and they can fly you around, that is a power of the gods right there. You feel
that's a real. It really makes the Luigi of the group, like the little brother, feel really good about what they're doing.
Or you're just like, don't touch the fucking controller, little brother, and you grab it yourself and you're flying and like also doing both controllers.
I never had that. I'm an only child.
So who'd have thought Dr. Robotnik is trying to get the Master Emerald to power his new to repair the Death Egg
Again.
Luckily, Knuckles realizes he's a ding dong. They stop him. Yada yada yada. There's a lot of stuff that happens.
Yepper.
Sonic Triple Trouble. No one gives a fuck about. Knuckles Chaotix, which sucks. That game sucks.
Never played it.
I've never seen a game that I wanted to love so hard that I couldn't. Did
you play it?
I played it. We had
Is it on your collection?
I don't know if I have it over there or not.
So we've got the Sonic Gems collection for the Nintendo GameCube right here.
My brother tried to sell it for $2. The rummage sale sticker still on the case.
Oh man, here's the thing. It has Tails Sky Patrol.
Oh no, that's the one where he fights Witchcart.
Yep, and it's got Tails Adventures, but it does not have Knuckles Chaotix.
It's got they call it the Sonic Gems collection, and it's got 2 garbage ass Game Gear games.
And what the fuck is Sonic Drift?
That was one of the shitty kart games.
Oh, yeah, okay.
So Knuckles Chaotix sucks. It's like visual diarrhea.
Yeah.
Yeah, my family actually had a 32X. I don't know why or how, but that was pretty much the only thing we had on it.
Are you fucking kidding?
What I really did like about Knuckles Chaotix were the new characters introduced.
Oh, yeah, the little private eye group.
The Chaotix Detective Agency.
The Chaotix Detective
The return
Agency.
of Mighty the Armadillo, Espio the Chameleon. Uh-huh. You know what is super sad? I just realized Ray the Flying Squirrel is so fiercely loyal and protective of Mighty the Armadillo because he's afraid of being alone again. Ray the Flying Squirrel is not in that game. Mighty the Armadillo had abandoned him.
Yeah.
Ray the Flying Squirrel is very sad somewhere. They do get back together, luckily. Right after this, actually. But Espio the Chameleon is an intelligent ninja warrior.
He's a ninja.
Charmy Bee is a hyperactive, bee-brained, loud, immature.
What the fuck does bee-brained mean?
It was on the fucking Wikipedia. Maybe he's got a hive mind. I don't know.
Oh, God.
People, they said that they don't like him, but my character that I identify with the most in the franchise.
Oh, God.
Vector the Crocodile.
Do you really?
Loves music, easygoing, loudmouthed, and the heart of a child is what it describes in the Wikipedia.
Okay.
Some things I don't necessarily agree with. Wears a gold chain.
Yeah.
But Vector...
There's some appropriation going on with Vector.
He's just a badass.
I
he's
guess.
The leader. He has to kind of be a dick sometimes, but he always has headphones on.
Okay.
That game sucked, though. Sonic Mania is technically what would come next. It includes the Phantom Ruby, our another gemstone, which is an interdimensional gemstone. Sonic Mania is a great game that we don't need to go too much into the details, but the Phantom Ruby is worth noting because it is what takes classic Sonic into Sonic Forces. The end of Sonic Mania leads into Sonic Forces.
I just don't get it.
Yep. Doesn't make any fucking sense because it happens again with a different classic Sonic, and we're not sure if they're the same classic Sonic.
So in Sonic Forces, essentially there's this fake out where Sonic the Hedgehog is seemingly killed by all of his villains.
Yeah, Eggman won. Sonic dies.
But he wasn't dead. He was kept in a prison.
He didn't really die.
No.
I didn't finish all my research before this.
Okay. Yeah, and then
because Knuckles is really leading a resistant force or something?
He's leading the resistance. And the character that you play as starting out is your OC character, Do Not Steal.
Why do you say Do Not Steal?
Because that's a funny... like when you're 12 and you're obsessed with Sonic the Hedgehog, you love the design, and there's something that it ticks in your head. It's for preteens, essentially.
Yeah.
And then you create your own, I'm Dylan the Dog. And then
ooh, I want to see that.
Well, Dylan Dog is an Italian comic series. Very good, by the way. Check it out. And it would just be you would draw it and you would think it's so cool. You would post it online.
Yeah.
And then you would write underneath it, Do Not Steal, as if people would want to steal your fucking design. It's basically Sonic the Hedgehog, but you made him a dog. But
Don't steal my original character.
well, you could actually look up right now, Brad. We could look up Brad the Hedgehog, and there will be a Brad the Hedgehog.
All right, everyone. If there is a slight pause here, it's because I am actually looking up Brad the Hedgehog.
And we're gonna take a look at Brad.
He's got a beard.
Whoa, really? Oh shit. Well, that's not a beard.
It's
He's
chest
just
hair.
furrier. Yeah, I don't get it.
He's got enough chest hair. It looks like a beard.
Well, maybe.
Oh no.
Have you ever seen? There's a character. It's called Cold Steel the Hedgehog.
Sounds okay.
We're gonna
show notes.
Yeah, it's very funny. It's just made with a bunch of the stuff, like the models. I could recommend it to everyone.
Man, Sonic the Hedgehog has such a great lore and great characters
Yes.
that are just so memorable.
So, but I don't understand how right after Mania Forces can exist, because Forces includes characters that came later.
Well, that classic Sonic is transported to the future for.
Oh,
So I'm just saying that that Sonic goes in the future. I'm not saying that's the next one.
Well, that Sonic doesn't even talk. Did you know that in the Generations?
I guess
and
it makes sense.
Forces game, he just doesn't fucking say anything.
Yeah, it's like, hey, what's up, man?
And he's like, it's okay, you don't have to talk.
I like you, buddy. Let's have some chili dogs.
You look like me, but you know when to shut your mouth.
I'd like that version of me.
I like that. Yeah.
Can we have a classic Brad?
Yeah. Oh my God. He's
shorter, pudgier.
For some reason, a better podcaster too, even though he can't speak.
Everyone's like, he seems so smart. Just when he doesn't respond to things, you can tell he's thinking more.
He also has nicer glasses.
He would.
He would.
My legs are longer.
Yeah, that's true.
Of course, everyone knows the next huge hit in the series, Sonic the Fighters.
Of course.
Dr. Robotnik makes the Death Egg 2, which he makes another Death Egg 2 later. But the problem is only 2 characters can fit in the spaceship to go up to fight him. That's why we have to have a fighting tournament to decide who is going to be the fighter that gets to go up to fight him. I want you to just briefly mention what amazing characters came out with Sonic the Fighters.
Fang
the Sniper, also known as Nick the Weasel.
There's Something the Dynamite.
Bean the Dynamite.
Who
I think wins worst name.
Yeah, but he's pretty cool looking.
He's cool looking. Almost. The only character thing I could find for him was Love Soccer.
Oh boy. And then who's the last one?
Bark the Polar Bear. At least Fang the Sniper is a treasure hunter, just kind of like a dickhead treasure hunter.
Yeah, he looks like a bounty hunter. He kind of looks cool.
A little more character than Love Soccer.
I mean, a lot of people really like soccer.
Yep, that was Sonic the Fighters. If you've ever played it, you regret it. If you haven't, don't play it.
Was that canon?
Nothing is canon.
No.
Nothing is. There's no established timeline.
Oh,
These are
God.
where they would fall if they did fall. Sonic 3D Blast, blah, blah, blah.
I played 3D Blast. It's not as bad as people say.
It's different.
It's different.
It's a different game. It's almost like a Marble Madness.
Yeah.
Which is not a bad game, but when
It's a fun little adventure.
When you're expecting fast Sonic gameplay, it's not fast
That's
Sonic
not true.
gameplay.
No. Nope.
Then there's Sonic Blast, Sonic R, where there's a World Grand Prix. They all have to race.
That game handles like dog shit.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I've played it. It's bad news.
Yeah, Sega really shit the bed with the Sega Saturn.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, then Sonic Pocket Adventure for the Neo Geo Pocket Color or whatever they called it.
Never played it.
It's only notable because it does use both art styles where Sonic looks kind of classic but also has pupils. Eggman has a new design.
Oh.
So this does establish that there could be a moment where the canons are linked. People want to separate them. I don't see that any reason they have to be.
No. But I like it when it's not our Earth. I like this idea that it's just like this lush landscape full of weird, like loop-de-loops and stuff like that. These are like naturally occurring in this world, and
they could still exist. Sonic 06 has loop-de-loops.
Yeah, but I mean, like
Dr. Robotnik's a human,
and he looks so good in that game too.
We'll get to Sonic 6. Sonic 4 is technically what would come next, and it's when Little Planet returns during Episode 2, and that's why Metal Sonic can come back. There's a lot of nonsense in that game, but that is a point where they can establish the timeline, because when Little Planet returns, we know it's been a year. So that all happened in a year. But up next, Sonic Adventure.
Okay.
Which, that's when Sonic became more of an edgy edgelord.
Yeah, he became a real attitude boy.
He became too cool. Instead of just...
Oh, I loved that version of Sonic when I was like 12.
Sonic Adventure?
I wanted to be Sonic the Hedgehog.
I remember playing some of that first game, and it was fun.
Kind of.
There was good parts. You know, you're going fast or whatever. That's the one where you like snowboard downtown, right?
No, that's Sonic Adventure Battle 2 or Adventure 2.
Sonic Adventure. So Chaos is an immortal god-like creature composed of energy. Dr. Robotnik
takes control of him.
Opens up the Master Emerald, breaks it open. I'm not going to speak to the gameplay of this game because that's not what we're doing, but there are multiple stories.
Based on the characters, yep.
Sonic and Tails are mostly working to stop Chaos and Robotnik.
Yeah.
Knuckles is repairing the Master Emerald, which is lining up perfectly with what he should be doing.
Yeah.
His character would be doing that. There's Big the Cat.
Big the Cat, he's searching for his friend Froggy.
His best friend is Froggy.
yeah. And so he does to do fishing mini games.
This is canon.
And
he's a dummy.
I think I'm mostly Big the Cat.
No,
what do you think I am?
You're Amy Rose, dude.
Oh, fuck no.
I don't know. I don't know who you'd be.
It's interesting.
Rouge the Bat.
Oh, yeah. Did he fuck the bat?
That is Dylan's opinion. So Amy Rose had her own story, but the character I find most interesting in all of Sonic Adventure is E102 Gamma.
Oh, yeah.
He becomes kind of sentient. He learns about friendship from Amy Rose, and he decides to start saving the animals, and he starts contemplating the little baby pink bird that lives inside of him.
Oh, yeah.
I love that character beat. Man, that is some fucked up stuff.
Pretty wild.
Mary Shelley could write an amazing novel about that.
Yeah. She could, but she's dead.
Why, like, who am I? Why am I here?
Exactly, yeah.
I'm born from a pink bird, but I'm also me. But he does sacrifice himself.
It's true.
Yeah, and I think, doesn't Chaos become kind of a good character in the end?
Well, Chaos was always technically...
He was angry
a force of nature.
Yeah.
So, like, he was just manipulated.
But Hypersonic gets in the way of that shit.
Hypersonic, yep.
So Sonic Shuffle takes place after Sonic Adventure.
Not until they flood an entire city and he becomes a giant dragon.
Perfect Chaos.
Yeah. Which killed a lot of people.
A lot of people die. But I don't know if they just use the Dragon Balls to wish them back.
Maybe.
Maybe like that's something they did with the Why is the Moon back? They just made a Dragon Ball wish the emeralds.
Well, literally in the interview I read where they started asking them like questions, like all the producers, they said, well, why is the moon back here? And it's like, well, the moon shifted and now the broken part's in the back.
It had amnesia.
It's in the back.
Yeah.
It's in the back now. It's on the dark side. Who knows?
Well thought out.
Yep.
Sonic Shuffle is a party game and it doesn't make too much sense. It takes place...
Apparently it's pretty fun.
It takes place in a world called Imaginary World. Imaginary World. Imaginary World. A villain named Void has shattered the perfect precious stone into many pieces, resulting in chaos in every part of the world. Blah, blah, blah. Sonic Adventure 2. We thought Sonic was edgy.
No, not even.
But what if we had a hedgehog that rode motorcycles and fired guns?
Well, in this game, he didn't.
But he will.
He will.
This character...
He loves Uzis. I know it.
I like this character's origin. I like Shadow the Hedgehog.
Oh, man. He looked so cool.
I don't know. It's almost just too obvious.
Yeah, but I mean, he's the perfect life form.
Well, he was created by Gerald Robotnik and the Black Doom, who is the leader of the Black Arms, who is the oldest member of his species. It's hive-like intelligence, but
they're basically demon aliens.
Demon aliens, and that's where Shadow was created. Unfortunately, though, Gerald Robotnik, the government tried to stop him. Killed Maria. Fucking Robotnik family.
Yeah, man.
Sonic Adventure 2, Shadow the Hedgehog, starts off as a bad guy. Rouge the Bat.
Rouge, yeah, you said Rogue.
I think Rogue would be a better name than Rouge. I don't know. Rouge is okay. Rouge it's better than Titty Fuck the Bat.
Titty Fuck the Bat. I mean, this sparked, from what I understand, a lot of people's fetishes.
Don't Google image search that. This will not be in the show notes.
Rouge the Bat, you're going to find a lot of stuff. No, you won't find it. We're not going to promote that.
How does Sonic Adventure 2 end? Shadow, they stopped Robotnik. Shadow's like kind of a
good
guy. He realizes that he should be a good guy.
Well, he realizes that he's reminded by Amy Rose that Maria would have wanted him to actually protect people and help them out despite their problems. And then they both transform into their super versions. And they fight a giant dragon creature that's popping out of part of the moon. And then Shadow falls to Earth, seemingly destroyed and dead.
But is he?
No.
So before we go any further, let's just address that Dr. Robotnik is his name. I mean, Ivo Kintobor I don't think is canon anymore.
I don't think so.
Because Gerald Robotnik is his grandpa. So Robotnik is at least his last name. So it'd be Ivo Kintobor Robotnik.
Yeah, but he prefers to be called Eggman.
No, he doesn't originally. Eggman is used kind of as a way for them to talk shit to him. And eventually just started using egg as everything.
He's like, you know what? I'm just going to accept it.
I think we need to talk, though, about what is a game that has massive story implications. Sonic Advance. Eggman tries to get the Chaos Emeralds and take over the world, but he's stopped. So Sonic Advance 1 doesn't matter.
It doesn't.
No.
It's a really good game. Those games actually rule.
Was that Game Boy Advance?
It's called Sonic Advance.
That's like a really good clue to what it would be for.
Great detective work, Brad.
I would not be on the Chaotix Detective Agency, allegedly. Vector would not hire me.
Well, I mean, Vector is the dopey one, so.
It's like you have Charmy B, and you're not going to have me.
Yeah.
Brad the Hedgehog.
Brad the Hedgehog. Ooh, dude, what animal would you be?
I was trying to decide, and I haven't come up with one yet. We'll see if we have one by the end.
I'd be Dylan the Possum.
That'd be awesome.
And I'm just like, but I'm also like, I'm just protecting
he has a move
myself.
that just like scares enemies away.
Yeah, or I play dead.
Yeah, enemies just get bored. Sonic
My
Advance
corpse just falls.
it has no gameplay. It's just a really good animation.
It just feels really good to play.
When no one's playing as Dylan the Possum for a little while, he just starts drinking a beer.
I'm actually going to draw for this. I'm going to draw Dylan the Possum. It'll be very funny.
Dylan the Possum.
Yep.
Or we could have Allison do it. She's a good artist, right?
Yeah, but I went to art school too.
I didn't know that.
You didn't know that?
No, I just thought
we got the same degree, man. You haven't seen my stuff.
Well, okay, we have to figure out an animal for me then as well.
Okay. It'll be us high-fiving.
that I look forward to it. Sonic Advance 2 is the first appearance of Cream the Rabbit.
Cream the Rabbit.
Do you know anything notable about Cream?
She really likes chows. She has a friend that's a chow, and I can't remember what its nickname is. And she functions a lot like Amy Rose without the hammer.
Okay, but she doesn't have a crush. Sonic Heroes is actually... I remember being super hyped for this game because it was bringing back Chaotix characters.
Yeah.
Which I like them. I mean, what's the plot? Eggman found the place where Shadow fell down and retrieved his body. He's healed and eventually freed by Rouge, who also activates Omega, another robot. Neo Metal Sonic becomes the bad guy at the end. He betrays Eggman and turns into Metal Overlord. I like that it had different gameplay for the different characters, although, I mean, no one ever wanted to play as Amy, Big the Cat.
And Cream. Their story means nothing to the larger portion of it.
I like that the Chaotix crew is just trying to pay the rent.
Yes.
They're just taking a job like we just got to make some money here.
It's noble.
That game sucked.
Sonic Heroes blows.
I wanted it to be good. I remember looking at it and wanting it to be good.
I wanted to know what happened next.
Shadow the Hedgehog.
I have played this game.
I remember thinking the Sonic team had gone way off the fucking rails when I saw this.
They did.
I understand Shadow wanting to figure out where he came from. I like that the story, the levels can be you're siding with the Black Doom, or you're siding with the good guys, or you're just kind of going,
or you're working for yourself.
Working for yourself.
Yeah.
You're one of the fastest beings in the world.
Only because of your jet boots. Did you ever notice that?
He has jet boots.
You never noticed that?
But why, if he's like the perfect life form, why does he have jet boots?
Yeah, it's kind of weird because even in the Sonic Adventure Battle. Sorry, Adventure 2, Sonic Adventure 2.
Yeah,
in Adventure
right.
2,
Get it right, Dylan.
In that game, he's not actually running. He's basically roller skating on his jet boots.
Hey, if you can get away with it.
I mean, sure.
Maybe he's perfect because he's conserving energy.
Yeah, maybe he's smarter. I just wonder where he got the shoes.
Dr. Eggman's Deluxe jet boots.
Sure. It's the opposite of his slow down boots.
Dr. Eggman allegedly has an IQ of 300.
Allegedly. Which is not possible.
As a 7-year-old, when I see that his wrecking ball swings left and swings right and I can jump over it, you start questioning, how intelligent is this man?
Maybe, I don't know.
Every one of his devices has an obvious weakness and a way around what he's doing.
Maybe there's a point to it. Maybe we're on to something. Maybe he wants to be defeated.
Maybe he's pushing Sonic to be better because he knows that there's going to be an ultimate evil later in the series that Sonic needs to be ready for. Oh. And Sonic wouldn't have the diligence to work hard himself.
Yeah.
That could be a good turn.
Oh, man.
I would, if that did happen and Robotnik said,
cut this out. We're going to Sega of Japan.
Sonic, I know we've always been tortured, you and I, but
Kojima style, like flashback sequences.
Metal Sonic.
Metal Sonic. And it brings in like the Sonic Bible for the first time. Oh, man.
Because that is something they would do.
I'm surprised
he's an interdimensional being from the future.
Oh.
We're not even to Eggman Nega yet.
Oh, yeah.
N-E-G-A, Eggman Nega.
Nega Eggman.
Which is his descendant.
Yes.
Shadow the Hedgehog, he wants to know where he came from. He defeats the Devil Doom, which is the evolved Black Doom or some shit.
Yeah.
He figures out where he's from. Shadow decides he wants to be a good guy. Next would be Sonic Chronicles: The Dark Brotherhood.
Developed by BioWare.
Well, that's weird.
Did you know that?
I think I heard that earlier, but when you watch a 50-minute YouTube video about Sonic, your eyes roll back in your head.
Never played it. Never wanted to.
Does he wear a scarf in that one?
No.
What is the deal with the Dark Brotherhood?
I don't really know the extreme details, but it's an RPG.
Okay.
It's the first Sonic RPG.
I'm looking it up right now. Eggman's defeat and presumed death some time ago after the destruction of the egg carrier.
From
Sonic is on vacation. I like that Sonic goes on vacation. That's what he does whenever he gets a chance. It never works out for him, but there's 2 emeralds on Nocturne. Well, that's great. The game ends at the cliffhanger moment where Eggman fires lasers at their vehicle, shooting it down from the sky. Sonic, Tails, and Omega then break the 4th wall by citing the credits themselves. Man, these games are weird.
They sure are. They only get weirder.
Let's just go ahead. We're going to skip a few things, and we're going into Sonic 06.
Sonic 06.
Because this one at least makes sense.
Sonic the Hedgehog.
2006.
It's Sonic the Hedgehog.
Of course, Solaris is a super-dimensional life form and a god of time. Mm-hmm. Originally was a living flame.
Yes.
That's
why they have a festival around it.
But the Duke of Soliana, I think is
Soliana, yeah.
wound up splitting Solaris into 2 on accident.
Yeah.
Making Mephiles?
Yeah, Mephiles.
Mephiles the Dark and Iblis.
Iblis, yep.
So Mephiles is the malevolent conscious mind and will of Solaris. Luckily, it was sealed into the Scepter of Darkness by Shadow, who, using Chaos Control, went back in time to seal it.
Yeah.
Okay.
As one does.
And then Iblis is the raw power of Solaris. Naturally, it was sealed in Elise. Mm-hmm. And if Elise cries, Iblis is let out of her. So her dad, as she's dying, tells her, "Don't ever cry, Elise.
Yep.
No matter what, don't ever cry."
Yep.
Because that will release Iblis naturally.
Which is a weird rule.
There's time travel. Mm-hmm. Do you know a lot about Silver the Hedgehog?
He's from the future, and he's trying to stop Sonic because in his future, Sonic actually causes the return of Iblis, which he, even in the game, still happens anyway because his supposed death is what makes Elise cry. Mm-hmm. So technically, it's a loop. It's a time loop.
Yeah,
but they're still able to stop it based on some other time travel shenanigans.
Is Silver the Hedgehog a good character? Like,
no,
not good, but a cool character.
No,
nothing is good about it. I don't like the design at all.
Oh, he looks awful. But this is what Sonic Team thinks hedgehogs in the future look like.
Silver is best described as having a strong sense of justice. And it is this personality trait that motivates him to head back into the past to correct the future. I want to compare him to Future Trunks in this scenario, because Future Trunks is badass.
A lot of DBZ connections. Yeah, that's pretty weird.
Except instead of giving Goku heart medication, he is trying to kill Goku. Mm-hmm. Which, at some point, maybe Goku should be killed, because he just goes up to the destroyer of worlds and says, "Hi, I want to fight you."
Yeah.
It's like, dude, Goku, you don't just...
How plucky of him.
You're so fucking plucky, Goku. Can you shut the fuck up?
God. I mean, he's basically a man-child.
And extremely powerful.
Yes.
Loves to eat.
Yes, he does.
Him and Sonic.
He
have
named
that
his
in common.
children after breakfast.
Let me read you some more Silver the Hedgehog.
Please, yeah. Go
personality.
off. Go off, King. Go off.
Okay. Although seemingly serious on the outside, an interview states that Silver is young and somewhat immature.
What?
Silver wears his heart on his sleeve.
What?
He feels anger and joy intensely and loudly, but his sadness is silent and hardly, if ever, marked by tears.
Oh.
He lets his rage control him. And cheerfully remarks on the things that make him happy, but hardly says a word in his sadness.
What is this, a fucking horoscope?
Next paragraph.
Oh, God.
Silver is very courageous and brave, willing to fearlessly sacrifice himself for another in a heartbeat, utterly unflinching.
Wow.
Next paragraph.
Okay.
He apparently has a competitive streak and gets a little snotty and a prickly attitude in the heat of the moment. There are more paragraphs. We'll stop there.
I just really, this is the kind of shit that's not actual like character.
It's like describing Anakin or or Qui-Gon.
Yeah.
They're serious, but they will always do the right thing. So you're saying they didn't have a personality?
Yeah.
Yep.
Doesn't really make mistakes, but at the same time does. It's just like, what are you talking about?
Don't stretch your fucking sentences out. You're not getting graded on your Wikipedia entry.
Exactly.
We don't need to fill out a 2-page essay here.
This is my deep analysis on Silver the Hedgehog. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Like and subscribe.
Despite his naivete, he is not slow-witted.
He's not dumb. I swear. I have a tattoo of him. He's super cool.
He's really great.
You see this one?
If you understood that from 200 years in the future with Eggman Nega, what really happened, you got to go fast, dude.
I mean, he doesn't even really have to go that fast. He controls time.
Sonic 06, what I love most about this game is
Sonic gets a kiss. He gets a kiss.
Oh, yeah. That's something from the Sonic Bible because they wanted him to have a human girlfriend.
Oh, from like the early drafts of...
Named
like,
Madonna.
Madonna, yeah.
And he finally got a human girlfriend in Princess of Thieves. What's great, though, is that she has to make the decision to blow out this candle, which will essentially erase all of it. So Sonic 06 erases itself from canon at the end.
Yep.
How gracious of you. That's the only thing you did right was erase yourself.
I can actually recommend the Game Grumps playthrough of this. It's very funny. They actually catch on to all the glitches without even trying. This is like the JonTron era. It's very good.
I remember this. I've actually seen some of this.
Yeah.
And it became probably one of their most watched things.
Yeah. Yep. That and Sonic Boom.
After Sonic the Hedgehog 06, we would have Sonic Rivals. Silver gets here from the future to fix something. Everyone wants to race for some reason. It seems like the ultimate villain is Eggman Nega from the future. Whatever.
Sonic, you skipped over Sonic Rush, 2005.
Not yet.
It's not in the canon?
Sonic Rivals 2.
Okay.
Eggman Nega plans to free Ifrit from his home dimension, but he is beaten again, gets trapped in Ifrit's dimension.
I love that Final Fantasy crossover. It's great.
I know. When Zell shows up to eat chili dogs with Sonic.
Dude.
It made sense.
Match made in heaven.
It made sense.
Yes, it was so good.
I'm going to Photoshop that together. I'm posting on the Facebook page. Here's the link.
Okay.
Sonic Rush would be next. Dr. Eggman steals the soul emeralds from Blaze's dimension.
Yep. Now he has. So let's put this out there. Eggman has the capability to transport himself between dimensions, and he doesn't just do it constantly. He's like, well, this time I'll just do it. I'm going to pull that trigger. He's the Ozymandias of this universe. I swear to God.
And I am apologizing that I haven't done more research on all of these games because there's a lot of weird gemstones and...
Yeah. Sonic Rush is good, though. I mean, like, Blaze the Cat is entirely forgettable.
I think a lot of people actually like that character.
They do. They really...
It's because it's a cat.
It's also a woman cat.
It's a badass female cat instead of Amy Rose, which is that incessant girlfriend character.
Yeah. Blaze is aloof, and she knows how to take control.
That character?
Put that on the Wikipedia.
Very cool. Much better than Titty Fuck the Bat.
Titty Fuck the Bat. I mean, like, no, she's got attitude and she talks like this.
She's a government agent.
A government agent.
All right, Black Widow.
Can you imagine that interview process where they're like, and now, what the fuck? It's a human bat?
Sonic and the Secret Rings. What the fuck is that?
So essentially it's part of the storybook series of Sonic games. These are releases for the Wii.
Okay, so Sonic gets sucked into a book.
These are the storyteller. They wanted to make a whole series about this because they realized pretty quickly that people wanted the levels of Sonic where he's going fast. They didn't want any of the other characters. So they tried to make entire games of this. I will say that The Secret Rings perhaps is a game with a series of challenge levels. I will just call this game challenge levels. It is pretty wild. Something about getting your soul stolen and having to fight a genie at the end of it.
A djinn.
The genie. I'm well versed in the mythology.
The Dylan experience.
It's pretty forgettable. Actually, that's another Game Grumps one where they quit halfway through. They just couldn't do it. I have played the game though. It's not the worst thing.
It fits into the timeline in a weird way.
Yeah, does it now?
All right. Sonic Unleashed is when they really start developing his character into a werehog.
A werehog, yeah. The thing he was always meant to be. By the way, really cool opening cinematic.
I never played it.
He's in space and he's assaulting Eggman's fortress, and it's pretty fucking rad.
Well, okay, so we have Dark Gaia and Light Gaia, which these are essentially the beginning. Fuck this shit. I hate I hate Sonic the Hedgehog lore. All right. Dark Gaia is a primordial hyper energy organism from the dawn of time in the E, and it is the incarnation of darkness, night, and destruction.
Whoa.
Eggman wanted to use Dark Gaia for his amusement park.
From Sonic Colors?
For Eggman Land. This is in Sonic Unleashed. And Light Gaia.
Well, he does make his amusement park, by the way.
He does. It's a real thing. Light Gaia, also known as Chip, is Sonic's friend.
Chip, yeah.
But it's also...
Oh, spoiler alert, Brad.
Yeah, sorry for everyone who's playing the Sonic the Werehog game.
Well, this is only in the... these are the only in the PS3, Xbox 360 versions, technically.
What do you mean?
Oh, there's a slight story difference. I can't remember what it is because I played it for the Wii.
You can tell that they knew what they were doing when they made these games.
Yeah, they've been planning Unleashed for the last 20 years.
So up next, Sonic travels back into the fucking Arthurian times.
No, he gets sucked into another storybook.
Okay. He's back in Arthurian times or whatever in the book.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And he has a sword.
He befriends a girl named Merlina.
Not Merlin. It's not
Merlin's
Merlin.
granddaughter.
Well, shit.
Dude.
Man, this changes my
Can I drop some knowledge?
I would. Yeah, dude.
Okay, so
that's why we're here.
The Knights of the Round Table have all been corrupted, and you want to face and Sonic wants to destroy the Black Knight, which Merlina's like, you got to kill him, you got to get rid of him. All of King Arthur's Knights of the Round, which are basically Rouge the Bat, Blaze the Cat, and Knuckles the Echidna. Oh, Shadow, Knuckles, and Rouge, but they're all wearing armor, but it's like Gawain, and they're all named something differently, but they're using the same character models.
Okay.
Turns out the Black Knight is King Arthur, and Merlina wants to basically take over the world.
That's the first character you kind of talk to, Merlina.
Yeah.
But it turns out she's the shithead.
Yeah, and all these cutscenes are told through static images. It's the same thing with Sonic and the Secret Rings. A lot of those are static images.
Why?
You'll get some.
I guess it's a storybook aesthetic.
Well, first of all, here's one thing I'll say. They're not good at animating on the Sonic team unless it is the actual 2D sprites. Everything else is straight up like dog shit. Have you seen some of the cutscenes from Sonic Adventure?
No, and I never want to.
Well, you'll watch a playthrough of it. I guarantee it.
No, I won't. I will watch some fucking highlights.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I don't know. I pulled out DX today for the GameCube. I have my Eon HD adapter, so I was thinking about putting it on.
You're going to play that on your Wii, baby?
No, I have it on my GameCube's got an HD adapter.
Oh, okay.
It was $150.
That's an interesting one.
It was worth it.
So, yeah, it's entirely forgettable. Apparently, I mean, the game is broken in so many ways. I'll point that out. It is bad.
It's Sonic in a storybook. He misses a date with Amy Rose. It starts off.
She chastises him at the end, yeah.
Well, he was going on a date with her, though, so at least that has developed. He said, all right, well, I'm bored.
Eventually, negging works. That's the theme. Well, it's not negging. It's if you break people down enough, like, man, eventually they're going to have to deal with you.
So, yep, that was Sonic and the Black Knight, where Sonic had a fucking sword. Sonic Free Riders, they raised...
the sword's name is Caliber?
Caliber,
and it talks.
I like that.
And at the end, instead of going Super Sonic, he becomes Excalibur Sonic. And he basically gets an entire suit of gold armor.
I don't know if I like it. I guess it's okay.
Okay. Continue.
Is it cool? Do you like it?
No.
Okay.
I don't like most of this. I like everything. I like all the 2D ones.
I don't want any of this.
I don't want any of the other horse shit. Like I will accept Sonic Adventure 2 because of its awesome soundtrack. Crush 40 kills it.
Yep.
They know how to write a fucking tune.
Yeah, they do. Sonic Free Riders, Sonic Colors.
I've played Sonic Colors.
Okay. Do you know the plot offhand?
Eggman creates an amusement park.
There's aliens and stuff, right?
Yeah, and they're all like colorful aliens.
Dr. Eggman opens an amusement park in space called Dr. Eggman's Incredible Interstellar Amusement Park, allegedly trying to turn over a new leaf to make up for his past transgressions.
Sonic doesn't believe him.
Yep, they meet Yacker, who comes from a species of aliens known as wisps.
Mm-hmm. They
liberate the wisps. Blah, blah, blah. Eggman uses them for his final contraption. He's making a robot.
Mm-hmm. Another. I didn't believe it when I saw it.
Turns out Sonic transformed into Super Sonic and stops them. Wow, we're not going to forget that one. Up next was Sonic Generations, which storyline wise is pretty wonky and weird, but I like the concept where you're taking the old Sonic and the new Sonic and you're taking the best of. You're just like essentially making a mixtape of what you love about Sonic.
And by all accounts, it's a great game. I played maybe 3 levels in it, and I said, no.
You didn't like it, though.
It was fine. I got it for free, I think, on PlayStation Plus way back when on the PlayStation 3. So the idea for me is I count the 2D ones. We're talking 1, 2, 3, Knuckles, and then Mania. I count that as, for me personally, that's my shit. It makes the most sense to me. It's straightforward. It doesn't have to get too convoluted because there's no actual like voice acting.
Yeah.
So they obviously in this game, the Sonic Adventure Sonic meets up with the younger Sonic
and
who cannot speak.
Doesn't need to.
No, he can't. But then the reality sets in is that this is not Sonic recognizing his younger self. This is an entirely different thing. He says, oh, you're like me, but you're not me. And it's kind of weird if we're talking about canon timelines, because if there's a timeline where he's kind of this well-designed, rubbery cartoon character, and then there's one where he's an edgelord, and maybe he was an edgelord the entire time. I don't know. I mean, think about this is why I have a problem with the timeline. This is why I have a problem with the lore in general. Because a lot of the other stuff you can pass it off, but if he met himself from an alternate timeline,
yes, you are fucking up all of the timeline. Then,
yeah,
if Classic Sonic travels forward and then goes back, that is a good way to rationalize things away and into what is canon. Because
but then, like if Classic Sonic went into the future and saw future events, he could change his own timeline, and he doesn't. Maybe he's stupid. I don't really know.
I don't know.
I
think maybe he just knows that I travel to the future, but I'm so chill that I'm not going to let that affect how I live my life now.
It's so weird though. They put him in Sonic Forces for no fucking reason.
That is weird. And the one that is in Sonic Forces is the one from Sonic Mania, which I think could be a different.
But that's the same one. No. It would be the same one because it goes 1, 2, 3, Knuckles, Mania. It's in the opening to Sonic Mania. The elevator, it actually shows you what the canon timeline is. The elevator that they go through in this fucking opening shows you what the canon timeline is.
We're talking about Sonic Forces. No.
I'm talking about Mania. Do you remember have you ever seen the opening to it? Did you watch it? It's a little cartoon.
I haven't rewatched it since we started this shit.
And so it's them basically like tapping their feet in an elevator.
Yeah.
And then the elevator has numbers on it. So it goes 1, 2, 3, K. And then there's the last one. And then the door opens and then they kind of like burst out.
That's them claiming that it goes 1, 2, 3, Knuckles, Mania. And that's the only thing that they care about as game creators.
Yeah. But I think it's also that's more hints than you get for anything canon wise. the rest is all speculation. The rest of it is assuming that everyone knows that the planet comes by every year.
Fucking little.
Exactly.
I wish Sega would make one concrete timeline for this instead of
really.
I don't know. I do appreciate that Castlevania and Legend of Zelda, at least they have said this happens here, this happens there.
Well, that's easier because if you say Dracula comes every 100 years.
No, that's not easier because then they realize, oh shit, we can only make 20 Castlevania games unless we go out of other dimensions.
Well, there are some ones where he doesn't fight Dracula, so
this doesn't happen often. But that's what them having to get creative.
Right.
They had to get creative because they gave themselves a limitation on that.
Okay.
I guess, yeah, Sonic Lost World will be after Generations.
It was a pretty big one, actually.
What happened in Lost World?
They're these dudes.
Okay.
They suck. They are actually decently designed characters.
Oh, that's when they had like the evil like, six people, yeah.
Yeah. But they're well designed characters. But if you've ever taken like an illustration class in your life, it's design 101. But one's chubby and slow, and then one is skinny and fast, and then one's really buff and he's the leader. And he's red. This was their response to Mario Galaxy. So there's a lot of kind of gravity stuff going on there.
Sonic should not be trying to fuck around with Mario.
I mean, that's been his entire history.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good start, but
it's been his entire history.
Once Mario just jumped light years ahead of you, you're not going to catch up.
So it's basically Mario Galaxy, but with Sonic. And it's actually, there are some levels that are really good. I hate saying it.
In a post-credits scene, Orbot and Cubot find Eggman, who has survived his fall, and they dig him out of a soft spot of dirt where he landed on. Upon realizing half of his mustache is missing, Eggman throws another tantrum, prompting Orbot and Cubot to run away in fear.
I don't even know what the fuck those things are.
Eggman faked his own death. I know at one point he pretended to he saved Sonic's life and seemingly died himself.
Yes, that's actually true.
The Deadly Six includes the Zeddy race consisting of Zaz, Zamam, Zeddy, Zik and Miaz, and of course Xena, who is flirtatious and self-absorbed.
Oh boy.
Zor is diminutive and pessimistic. And Zavok is the tribe's leader. These are characters that everyone knows from the Sonic lore. They're as big as Knuckles.
Surprisingly, there's a ton of references to them in Smash Brothers. There's a lot of shit about
Smash Brothers, though, is good at referencing everything.
Yeah, but I mean, like, there's a stage dedicated to Lost Worlds in Smash Brothers.
Good. Fuck it.
I guess. I'd rather just have regular old Green Hill Zone.
Sonic Forces. Let's get this last one out of the way. What the fuck is Sonic Forces, Dylan?
It's your standard opening. Sonic has to go do something. And then
Eggman attacks a city, right?
Right, and then he goes to stop it, and basically all of his villains are there. All the ones you've faced up until now, and they, like, beat the living crap out of him. Sonic seemingly dies.
Shadow the Hedgehog and Chaos.
Yeah.
Shadow's a bad guy again.
Yeah, oh my gosh.
Allegedly.
Everyone's surprised. Then it's like 1 year later. Knuckles is leading a resistance against the Eggman army. And it's revealed that there's this crazy new hedgehog-ish thing.
It's a jackal.
It's a jackal?
You're talking about Infinite?
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's called Infinite the Jackal?
Or Infinity or Infinite, however you want to say it.
Infinite, yeah.
I'm going to just read a quote from him.
Oh, God.
That day, I gave up my own unsightly face, and I let go of the old me. That one was so weak, so that I could become stronger. And then, at last, I obtained the power. I was reborn. Infinite, formerly known as the Ultimate Mercenary, is the secondary antagonist in Sonic Forces. He is an anthropomorphic jackal and the former captain of the Jackal Squad mercenary group.
What?
Oh, so he fused with the Phantom Ruby prototype. Before that, he was a violent, heartless, and vicious gun for hire. Is he a good guy in the end?
Maybe. As always, Robotnik controls people. That's where his IQ comes from.
He became endlessly cruel, extremely sadistic, and horrifyingly ruthless. This might be your character.
I'm Infinite? Cool, man.
His most notable character trait, however, was his inferiority complex because of the perceived weaknesses he might have. Oh. I don't know what happened here. There's 6 characters. They weren't really bad.
They were all copies.
If you couldn't tell, us raw dogs here.
Oh, my God.
We're doing our best.
You know, I barely remember people's, like, real people, their names. And I I know off the top of my head.
I hate it. I hate not remembering
so much of this information. Names. No, listen, Brad, do you know how long it took me to remember your name?
How long?
Probably a while.
Yeah.
Matt would have to remind me.
Yeah, that's okay, though. Look at us now. The other day, I finally got a hold of Sonic 1 through Knuckles and Mania and almost to 4.
What did you play them on?
I didn't play them, but I got a hold of the story.
Oh.
And I was able to understand the story. And I said, okay, this makes enough sense. And then they get into the modern timeline, which is bad.
Yeah, it's bad.
The classic timeline can at least be sussed out a little bit.
Yeah, but it's so fucking straightforward. You've got good guy, bad guy, and there's kind of a plot going on in between. You can follow it.
Okay.
There's no need for higher plot points because the main reason you're there is to go fast, run loop-de-loops, and break walls.
I like Shadow the Hedgehog enough. He's a cool enough character, whatever.
Do you, though?
Gerald Robotnik, the story isn't the dumbest thing I've ever heard. It's classic tropes. They're out there these days. Well, I mean, Blaze the Cat is from an alternate dimension. Silver the Hedgehog's from 200 years in the future. Well, so and of course, Dr. Robotnik's descendant. The premise that Eggman Nega is Dr. Robotnik's descendant means at some point Dr. Robotnik fucked. We don't know if he had a good relationship. We don't know where it happened or if he cloned himself, which would be the sad thing. But I like to imagine Dr. Robotnik did experience love at some point in his life. There's
someone for everyone. There really is.
I mean, what came first, the chicken or the Eggman? Yeah, so Infinity's a big old garbage character because he needed a new edgelord.
It looks really bad. It's a bad looking character.
I didn't know where you were going to go with that. I'm happy you said he looked bad because he does.
It does look really bad. Oh, you're really out of ideas now.
Yep. Oh, you just have a hedgehog character with like a face mask.
Well, it's wild. When I first saw previews for Sonic 06, I will say that I thought it was a reboot, and I said to myself, thank fuck. And I thought some of the promotional art looked good. I said, oh, this is okay. I can get into this. And I do believe that these are talented developers, but I'm wondering who's sticking their dick in the pot. It's a ship without a captain.
And we want everyone to know listening that there is no official timeline canon. There's some suggested things that have happened, but I did everything that I could. Dylan did everything that he could.
I watched so many YouTube videos. I read so many things I didn't want to know, and I'll remember them forever. On my dying bed, if I'm lucky enough, I will know the name Mighty the Armadillo.
If any of you have recommendations for games that should have a deep dive on their lore that you want to torture me and Dylan with, please let us know.
I'll do it.
Write us on Facebook would probably be the easiest thing. Otherwise, we have Instagram and Twitter. We're Hot Dogcast. We're Hair the Dogcast and everything else. What animal would I be in the Sonic universe?
Yeah, dude.
I'm going to go with the bearded vulture.
You're a vulture. Oh, that's so cool. I wish I had chosen that.
No, you're a possum.
I'd be a possum because I'm a skittery little man.
And I just went bearded vulture because he has a beard.
I mean,
and I'm terrified of balding.
Are you?
Not really. I probably will, though.
It's just something you accept. Yeah. I'm already balding.
Oh, I couldn't notice.
Shut the fuck up. Fuck you, man. When you're balding, I'm going to like razz you so hard.
I'll be fine with it. Well, Dylan, do you have any last thoughts on the Sonic franchise you want to touch on before we let go of this?
I was saying it before, and the metaphor still stands. It's a ship without a captain. If they could write the ship just a couple times and reinstill faith.
You could easily pay someone that could do a good job.
They choose not to.
They choose not to. It is baffling. Beat the dynamite. Bark the polar bear.
Charmy B. I think that's it, ladies and gentlemen.
You can find us if you just look up Hair the Dogcast on anything. You'll find us there. Our Patreon is currently very active. Dylan has updated that since I mentioned this.
Shut the fuck up.
So go there. Support us because our tote is broken. And I owe Tom a lot of money for our last convention we went to, and it would be really great to not have to pay him all of it. You can find us on Twitter at Hot Dogcast. I personally am Loaf of White Bread. Our next episode will be coming out in 2 weeks. Yes. You can always find us on a Thursday morning. That's when we drop these every other Thursday. We're going to be covering the past decade of video games,
Yes.
what we played, what was important to us, and also we're going to be covering every Skyrim release through the decade
Oh, yeah.
in detail, how they didn't change anything, and what system it was on.
And what did it feel like to go back?
So we're the Raw Dogs. Dylan, what's your name?
My name is Dylan.
Dylan, what's my name?
Brad.
And that was the Raw Dogs. Thank you so much for tuning in, everybody. Gotta go fast. Eat your chili dogs. Robotnik is a bad guy. I don't know what else to say.
Yeah, we're done here.
We're done here. Thanks for checking it out, everybody. Peace out.